Hello, Lauren. Welcome to Power Women Wellness. How are you today?
Howdy, I am so good and thrilled to be here.
Yes, I'm excited because I know that you are a fitness professional. And so you're already into health, you're in the industry, and I know you're into it. So this is going to be such a good combo. So start off, I kind of already said it, but tell us, what do you do, who you are, what led you into being in fitness?
Sure. Well, my name is Lauren George. Thank you again for having me here. This is such a fun topic to talk about, how to balance wellness with what you want to do in your professional career. So I'm super excited to chat with you today. But I have been in wellness my entire career, and I have always loved just recreational fitness. I was by no means like a star athlete growing up, but I have literally just loved group fitness from very early on in high school, old school Paula Abdul hip hop aerobic video days. So from the very beginning, but I actually started college and went to school originally for political science. And my very first year, very first semester in college, I took a kinesiology, a step aerobics class, because back in the day, everybody had to take a kinesiology class, like as a credit. It was required at A&M. And so I was like, wait a minute, people do this for like their career full time. Like I absolutely loved it. And I love that she really helped a group of girls in my class, because it was a step class. So I think we were all girls at that point, really figure out that fitness could be fun. And I watched them transform from a couple of individuals who maybe, weren't athletes in high school and didn't really love, sports, to see that, wait, oh my goodness, like I can just enjoy the community of group fitness. And I then later saw those same girls in my group fitness classes at Texas A&M when I started to teach. And that really kind of shifted my whole mindset
Wow.
around exercise. And so I went on to change my major to sports management and kinesiology. And then since then, I have worked as a campus group fitness director, because I love campus recreation, in small Pilates studios, large health clubs. I've owned a group fitness studio in Clemson, South Carolina. I currently own a virtual studio, and then a few other endeavors in the fitness industry, training other instructors and working in the business side. But with my husband's job, we have moved a lot. And so kind of every time we've moved, it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because my career has to shift with his moves and where we live in the country. And so I've definitely been encouraged, I won't say pushed, but encouraged to do a lot of things that maybe I wouldn't have done if we would have always stayed, in Dallas, which was our first stop after we got married. So it's been a wild but exciting ride for sure.
I love that. And I love how I was the same way. I did cheerlead, but I think I stopped when I was right before high school, because I really just wanted to focus on studies. I knew I really wasn't going to do that in college. But I hated PE, like not my jam. And it's hilarious now, because like I love movement, and whether it's simple, like walking, strength training's definitely my jam. That's where I will never skip a leg day. Sometimes I'll skip an upper body day, never skip a leg day. And it's funny, because if you asked me that when I was 16 years old, I would be like, heck no, like fitness sucks.
Right.
And now it's just like you gain this, like, I don't know, maybe as you get older, but it sounds like you've kind of always had a love for it. You gain this appreciation for just being able to like move your body and see it like change in good ways when you're active.
Definitely.
So you didn't play any like sports?
Well, I did. I played softball and volleyball for a while.
Cool.
And then in high school, I was a cheerleader. And in Texas, they take that uber seriously. So you had to choose which route you wanted to go. So I cheered in high school. And then, so I did.
Yeah.
But I was never, my softball and volleyball days were nothing to,
yes,
nothing to, I wasn't going real far with those, but I loved it and had fun doing it. And now I love watching it, and I coach my girls in them. So I have a lot of experience with them, but I was never the superstar by any means, and that's okay.
So fun. Oh my gosh. I feel like, actually, because we're in Austin, and I feel like, just from my experience, it's more the dancers than the cheerleaders here. I feel like the dancers kind of they get halftime show. They kind of get all the traction and the excitement, and cheerleaders are kind of like, on this from Florida, it was cheerleading. That was like the main thing. Dancers were Oh my God, I hate to say this, but it's true. At least this is how we felt in high school. The dancers were the people that couldn't make the cheerleading squad. And here I feel like it's the opposite. Is that correct?
Well, especially I feel like in the college realm, they call them Palm Squad in college, and the dance team or
Okay.
Palm Squad, depending. But yeah, I mean, for sure, it's a huge thing. And a lot of times, I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but like so when we would go to competition, we would have part of our routine that would be like what a Palm Squad, there would always be a
Got
dance
it.
element to it, even more so probably than the actual like yelling, cheering element. So it was kind of like a combination then. And then in college, you have both, you kind of differentiate
Yeah.
between Palm Squad and cheer. I was always I was too tall, which is funny because I'm 5'6", but to be like the traditional cheerleader, I was always the one holding people up, and not
Yes.
on the top of the pyramid by any stretch.
Yes. That's so funny. Yeah. I mean, I look at the dancers now and I'm like, we were not dancing like that in high
Yeah,
school.
right.
And they're good though. They are
Yes,
beyond good.
they
So
are. It's amazing.
I love it. I know as an adult, I'm like, I find myself like, ooh, I want to take like a hip hop dance class. And this is coming from someone who like has never danced before, but it's like, I don't know, as you get older, there's just different types of fitness that start to like
Yes.
pull at you. And I feel like dancing, which would be comical to watch because I don't have any background in it, but it sounds so fun.
It is. Yeah, it is. And I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Is finding ways to move that you enjoy, because then we will move more and move for longer, and
Yeah.
are much easier to weave into our life when it's something that we look forward to doing. So I
Yes.
love that. I love that people want to still try out different things. I taught hip hop dance for a long time. Dance cardio
Amazing.
party is what we called it. Whenever I started teaching it, and man, it is a killer workout. I would just leave that class dripping.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I know people don't realize I'm not a runner. I could never just run to get cardio. I'd have to do something like that. Another one that I found was boxing. We bought the fight camp, and that was also something that I didn't realize. One, how much cardio it was, two, how much mental it was as well. Especially the classes of just needing to, punch 1, 2, 3, 4, and just knowing like what that is. And it's just the different combinations and how core driven it is too. And so that
Yes.
was a very surprising like perk when I started doing it. But our current one as a family is pickleball. I know pickleball is kind of picking up all over the world right now.
Yes.
We're loving it. We're doing so much of it.
So I have to admit that I have not actually tried it myself. I've seen it lots of times, and then I've also studied like common pickleball injuries to work with clients. But it is so amazing how much it is getting people moving,
Yes.
and then also the community around it. I know here in Starkville, like that it's a whole thing. Everybody goes around 9 a.m. in the morning. Like they built courts at like our local park, and it's like such
It's
a
a
big
thing.
deal, and it's so
It's a
fun.
thing. It's a thing. It's because
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more than ping pong, but it's not as intense as tennis. So it
Yes.
literally is just like the perfect blend of those two. Smaller court.
Right.
Even like if you're playing single player, like you're getting a workout in, but we usually just play doubles. And that's just a lot of fun just to do with like friends and stuff. So yes, some of our friends were like, let's go pro. And I'm like, let's not go pro. Let's just, do it for fun.
Yes, I love it.
So yes. Okay. So let's move on to your morning routine. So tell me, like, what does this look like for you? What you eat, what you drink? Are you exercising? What are you doing? Meditate? Like, give us just like the 411 on it.
Sure. So I'm not sure it's that exciting, but I'll give you the rundown.
Yeah.
I do love mornings are my happy time. I like to get up early. So I usually wake up around 5 a.m. so I can have some like me time
Nice.
before my girls get up and have to go to school. So typically when I wake up, the first thing I do is have some coffee and my green drink. So I'll sip on that while I do my short daily devotional. And I will be honest, I'm not one that's going to say like, I can sit and read and journal for 10 minutes. Well, that sounds ideal. That's just not in the morning. So I have the current one I'm reading, which is so good. It's Worry Less, Pray More. And it's literally just like half a page devotional that is short but just kind of like starts you off on the right track. So typically while I'm sipping my coffee and my green drink,
And what is your green drink? Because there's a lot out there.
What is it?
Yeah. What greens do you
I
like?
Clean Simple Eats. Their green, their peachy one's my favorite. Athletic Greens is also a good one, but I'm definitely on a Clean Simple Eats. peachy
Nice.
greens, I think is what they call it right now. So just that with a little lemon and water, nothing crazy fancy, but it is yummy. And then that's when I also do my social media posts, because I know we're talking to a lot of other
Yeah.
entrepreneurs here. So hopefully I've have it all prepped and I'm just like copying and pasting and posting in the morning. And then there's any, emails that need to be taken care of. I try to keep that under 30 minutes, that whole shebang.
Nice.
Because then I head upstairs to do my personal workout, which is typically lifting, or I have a reformer machine here, so Pilates reformer. And then it's time to get my girls up. So get them up, get them ready for school, make the lunches, do the mom hustle. And then after drop off is when I teach a few classes in person. So I
Nice.
either go straight to teach class, I teach at 8:15, or usually I come home and I try to film straight away before I get distracted with other things for my virtual studio. And then it's time for breakfast after that.
Nice. I love that. Wow. You get a lot done beforehand. I'm curious, does summer impact that?
Oh yes. Summer is a hot mess. I try to stick to that. Well, and it's funny because literally like I was thinking that this morning. So I do still get up at the same time and still try,
Nice.
like I get my workout in this morning, and the same thing. But it depends. One of my girls loves to sleep in, and then my other one is an early riser. And so and I mean, she's 8, almost 9. So it's not like she needs my full attention. I can still get some of these things done, but it always changes the flow of things a little bit. But I try to still do that much of the morning routine. And so now instead of dropping them off at school, I can film or get a little work done
Nice.
earlier. So that way I can spend as much of the day as possible, with them.
Yeah.
So I still try to tackle a few work tasks early so I can get those done before they hopefully wake up.
I love that.
Works
I
out
love that.
sometimes.
No, I'm with you. I go ebb and flow into like what I can get done. But I was as summer started, I was thinking, because I was still waking up at like 6:30. And even that's pretty late, because like at least our elementary school, we have to be out of the house at 7:15. But we're
Yes.
pretty like efficient in like what we do of like packing lunches. Sometimes I'll do it the night before. I mean, my husband tag team it, which is really nice. So he's usually the one dropping her off and I'm just getting her ready. So I myself don't have to get ready. So it's nice like that. But I was still, as summer came on, was still waking up at like 6:30. And a part of me was kind of like, oh, I want to sleep. Like I want to sleep in, even though my sleep in is like 7:30. So like I've always been a morning person. I've never been like a huge sleeper, but I'm just like, no, it's summer. I want to sleep in. And then I was like, wait, actually that's nice, because then when school starts around in a couple months, like I'm not stressing about, oh gosh, now I have to start getting up early and starting like adjusting my body again. So I've actually embraced the still getting up during the summer at the same time.
Yeah, no, it does. And it gets, kind of lets us have a little bit of a moment before the got to go to the pool and all the camps. I feel like there's
Yes.
a different camp every day that has to, be driven to.
Yes, I know. We're a little bit more relaxed with our kids. We don't do that many camps. My son's basketball, so he does more basketball camps, but and my daughter's dancing, but to be honest, I kind of gotta like get her to do it. She's not like a natural, like, oh my God, I love dance. Like, are we dancing?
Yeah.
So yeah, we love like a chill summer just from a crazy, crazy school. So I
Yes.
love that. So what is your go-to breakfast? Do you have a couple of things that you just have on rotation?
I'm a huge smoothie person. So
Okay.
I tend to kind of rotate between a chocolate protein powder and I love the like PB2 peanut butter protein powder, a banana, and then maybe like half a cup of cold brew, or
Ooh.
classic strawberry, banana, vanilla protein, blueberries. Kind of, I'm usually sipping as I run out the door, run to the next thing. So breakfast is pretty much 99% a liquid.
Nice. What is your favorite protein company that you've used?
So I also use Clean Simple Eats. I love
Nice.
their
Okay, I gotta
protein.
check them out.
Yeah, well, so many things upset my stomach, especially with protein powders, and theirs doesn't. And really, I think what got me hooked, I think what made me try it the first time, especially for kids, is they have such fun flavors. So, like, my husband is
Oh.
obsessed with their mint chocolate chip. And so I'm always trying to
Oh.
figure out ways to, keep him eating healthy too. And so I'll make the mint chocolate chip one, but make it with like double the banana and really thick, and like maybe put some coconut whipped cream on it. And my girls will eat it like ice cream almost even. And that's what my husband likes to eat for breakfast every morning, is he has this mint chocolate chip one. But I love smoothies and smoothie bowls because I also can put all of our liquid vitamins in it, So
Oh,
it's kind of a nice way to sneak all those things in, without having to remind my husband to take vitamins or the kids having to take
yeah.
a bunch of gummy vitamins or what have you. So I can sneak all those in, but they have mint chocolate chip, cake batter. Trying to think I had caramel toffee that I mixed with my iced coffee. So
Oh,
it's a fun way to kind of like mix it up, keep it fun. And living in Mississippi, it's pretty much hot all the time. So I like cold drinks.
yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely gonna have to try them.
Yes.
I'm looking, I pulled it up now and I'm looking at it and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a mint chocolate person through and
Oh,
through.
then
So
you'll
like
love it. Love
okay, and now I have to try it and love that it's grass fed
it.
whey.
Exactly.
I think I go in between. Like I do a lot of naked nutrition, which is like a pea based.
Hmm.
And I think it just depends. I've actually been doing more dairy and okay with it. So I think I want to give like whey another try again. Because it
And
is my
there are
favorite.
so many that I cannot, so many whey products that I cannot do, but the way that I'm going to mess up
Nice.
the name of the processing. You would know better than me. But the way that it's filtered or the way Clean Simple
Nice.
Eats filters it, it does not bother me or my daughter who has to be a little bit careful with dairy one bit. So we just stick
Nice.
with it across all their product
I
lines.
love it. I love it. I love it. And yeah, with greens, like you also never know. There's so many out there. Athletic Greens is probably the
Yes.
most popular, but I feel like they just do a great job with marketing and stuff. Like everything is sponsored. So I think that's why they're having their claim to fame right now. But as with everything, it kind of dies down. I feel like I've heard of Clean Simple Eats a couple times because it sounds familiar in the
Yeah.
green realm, but that's amazing. Oh, I wanted to ask you too. I know that you said your devotional you really love right now is Worry Less, Pray More. Do you have any
Hmm.
others that you've done in
Oh
the
gosh.
past that you like still remember to this day? It was so good.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna mess up the title because I don't have it here. But I read an Enneagram devotional that was,
Ooh,
if you are into the Enneagram, and I think that's what it was called. It was called like I'm an Enneagram 3, so Enneagram 3 devotional. And it was, I mean, it was so good, but it was also like so like, oh yeah, that is like so correct, or oh yep, I do that. It was like
yes.
very eye-opening for sure, but it was so interesting because it kind of gives you so much context behind, like, maybe why you think about things a certain way, or things how your Enneagram can be used for, I don't like the word evil, but like good
Yeah.
or evil, or
Yes.
even against yourself, right?
Like the bad, the
The
cons of our
yeah, the
personality. Yeah.
cons. That's a good way to say it. So I felt like it was just so relatable that it really kind of helped
Ooh.
me put the devotion side of it into practice. Like, make those little changes or think about things a different way when I have an emotional response to something because of my Enneagram 3-ness. So
Yes.
it was a really good one.
Is it I'm looking at there's a couple there's Hearing God Speak. It's a 52-week interactive Enneagram devotional. And then there's also little devotionals based on your Enneagram. And it's like, does that one sound familiar?
It is, hold on, I got it right here. Do-do-do. It's by Elizabeth Bennett.
Yes. Okay, those are the ones I'm looking at.
Yes, 60-day
Amazing.
Enneagram devotional. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm an 8. And so
Okay.
eights are a lot,
All
very
my best friends are
challenging.
8s. Yep, all of them. I'm
I
like, oh,
love that.
right.
I actually you said you were a 3.
Yes,
Actually, my best friend is a 3 too. So there is something there with like
there
eights and
is. There
threes.
is. Yep.
And I feel like threes are just so, or I mean, eights are so protective. And so like, I don't know. I think it's just the blend. It's amazing.
Yes.
But okay, I'm gonna order
But oh
this
my,
one.
I mean, that would be one of my top ones I would recommend ever for sure.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so moving on. So that's a little bit of like morning. So tell us more about like your nighttime routine, anything that you do every night, skincare, again, any eating, any special teas, what
Yeah.
winds you
So
down?
evening time is usually pretty crazy around my house. So from, a maintaining, kind of trying to maintain health of my whole family, is I'm a huge meal planner. I can't claim to be a great meal prepper, but I plan out our meals every Sunday based like really specifically on how much time will I have to make that meal and what time will we be getting home, So if we're playing 3 different sports that night between my 2 girls, then the Instapot is like my ride or die. I use it all the time. So that way I can have dinner ready when I get home, or I'll make what I call a 3 p.m. casserole or afternoon dinner, where I actually like make the casserole. Well, and I use the word casserole lightly. Maybe sheet pan is a better word for it because there's not like a lot of, casserole, but like I have a white bean and rice casserole, salsa verde casserole that I
Ooh,
love. So like I can make that in the afternoon and then cover it in foil and just like reheat it for dinner. So, and then as far as like skincare goes, I love Primarily Pure skincare. And I'm all about, the gua sha stone and the gua sha roller.
Yes.
I do that. I'm pretty good about doing that in the morning, but I have the rose quartz roller, and I keep it in the fridge. And so like while I'm making my coffee, I'll grab it out of the fridge and like be doing the roller at the same time. But since it's like cold, it feels so good, especially under your eyes. But so do that and then try to get the girls to bed. And then that's kind of my husband and I's time after we get them to bed to kind of debrief on the day. I would love to say that I try to be in bed by a certain time, but I am nothing if not honest, and sleeping is not my superpower. It's a constant goal of mine to be better about that. So it is definitely a work in progress on there. My husband and I stay up way too late.
I know. And you wake up early too.
Yes.
That I don't know what happened, but I would say in the last, like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months, all of a sudden I'm like a 7-hour sleeper. So like, I will always just 7 is my lucky time. I can't sleep a minute more, a minute less.
Yes.
And all of a sudden my body started shifting to being 6 hours. And to me, I know that's like not ideal. Like we need more, but like I'm waking up, I'm like fired up. Like I'm energized throughout the day, but I'm not accepting that. I'm like, no, I need at least 7. Like, what is this? So I don't know what's been going on. So naturally it's been like 11 p.m. to like 6:30 or 6 or 6:30. And I'm like, no, this is not enough sleep.
Yeah, I know. We try to do we can't do everything well. Right. And so, like I said, I will be honest about it. That is definitely something that I strive to do better in. I typically fall within like the 5 to like maybe 6 hour range. But everything has its season. And I know someday again, I'll have a little bit more time for that. Although I try to prioritize it. It just, seems to be something that slips away.
I'm about to say, what is like your like downfall with it? Is it like you guys are watching shows and movies together and like before you know it, it's like way too late? 'Cause that's me.
Yeah, I think, for sure. Well, and I think too, with my husband's job, he typically gets home late. And then with all the kids' activities, which I know everyone has, by the time bedtime happens and then you kind of do clean up from dinner and all of that, the only time I have to spend with Eric, my husband, by the time that starts, if we're going to spend any significant amount of time together or, watch a show, or if a lot of times, be honest, we'll both be catching up on work things. Especially if I was running the girls around all day, that just starts so late. Yeah. It's 11, 12 before we even know it, not being intentional, not trying to stay up late, but it just happens. So
I know if we could just have more hours in the day, that would be fantastic. Because I feel the same. And being in school and I'm doing my doctorate, that's kind of like my time to do homework, because I try to do mostly business stuff in the day. And sometimes I'll squeeze in both business work. It just depends on the day. Or business and school. But like, nighttime is like kind of when I do it. And so, I'm with you. I'm with you there. It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
So do you have a resource that you like using? Like, what is your kind of go-to with like meal planning? Is it just a simple planner, a whiteboard, a special resource?
I don't know if old school is the right word for it, but I definitely, I have Pinterest boards of that. Clean Simple Eats, again, didn't mean to be a promo for them, but I do use a lot of their recipes. I think they have like not even have to do with their products, recipes. And then Eating Bird Food is another website. She's a blogger and I don't know her personally, but I use a ton of her recipes. And so, but I will also say, love my husband dearly, but he has the palate of about a 5-year-old. So everyone in my house besides me would prefer to just like rotate the same 5 meals every night. So we don't get too crazy adventurous on the regular weeknights. I try to cook every weeknight, and then obviously breakfast and lunch I prepare for everyone. So really, I think my biggest tip would just be that, Saturday nights or Saturday sometime during the day, I literally write out the weekday schedule and what we're going to eat for all 3 meals, which breakfast and lunch for most of us are pretty repetitive. And then dinner. So then I'm not having to think about it, during the week.
Yes.
I still have to do it, but there's no like 3 p.m. on a
Yeah.
Tuesday where I'm like, what am I going to cook?
That's honestly the worst part. I'm too. I go through phases, but currently not meal prepping at all. The only thing I really do appreciate meal prepping is either some like proteins or just veggies, because those do take a little bit more, and that's not what I want to do in the middle of the day. So that does make it a little bit easier, but just at least knowing what to do. And so I just use like my little iPad planner, and I'll just write down exactly like what we were eating. And it really is like, because I've had many times where I'm like, I don't know what we're eating, that when I realize I do know what we're eating, it's almost like just a huge burden off my shoulders. Like,
For
oh,
sure.
I don't even have
For
to think about
sure.
this. I already know.
Yes. One thing checks off the list there.
Yes. So what are some of your two like healthy meals that you guys love and it's always in rotation?
So if it's for a weekend and we're grilling, I love, and my oldest daughter, we love grilled salmon. So that's like, if I had to choose, we'll do that. And then like crispy Brussels sprouts in the air fryer, or like the vegetable that I can get everyone to eat, so that's always good. If I'm going out, I love, and I've recreated it at home actually, but the spaghetti squash casserole from True Foods is just thinking about like
good.
favorite. It's so good. We do a lot of like Mexican casserole. So I talked about my 3 p.m. casserole. So it's really just like brown rice, black beans, corn, pico, put in a casserole dish, and like can make it early. Sometimes we'll add ground turkey or something like that. So that's a go-to. The salsa verde white bean casserole. The website that is from, I'm trying to think, but she has a ton of what she calls dump and bake, where it's like all in one casserole dish.
Yes.
But casserole, I guess I'm being from the South, whenever you say casserole, people are like, are you using like, what is that, cream of mushroom soup? And
yeah.
I'm like, no, there's no cream of mushroom soup. It's just in the same pan.
Yes. I'm with you. I don't know if people can, Florida is in the South, but I feel like we're such a melting pot.
Yes.
We don't have like typical like Southern behavior, like Georgia and Alabama and like Mississippi and stuff. So I don't know. I am from the South, but I'm used to casseroles too. And there's definitely ways to make them like healthy and delicious and tasty.
100%. One of our other favorites, which we call it casserole, but I make it in the Instant Pot. We call it sausage casserole. But it is like whatever your favorite healthy turkey sausage or chicken sausage is, with new potatoes and like fresh green beans, put all in the Instant Pot with just a little bit of water and Cajun seasoning. And so then like literally you come home and you have, it's kind of like a low country boil done in the Instant Pot. So wait, is that a Texas thing or a Southern thing? Low country boil is usually made in that like big pot with sausage.
It's like a Louisiana thing, isn't it?
Okay. So yes, maybe so.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. So it kind of is like that, because I like to use Cajun seasoning, but in the Instant Pot. And that's definitely one of my, like, if I need to come home to a done meal, that's my go-to.
Oh, okay. Love that. What keeps you, and I know that you just naturally have a love for like being healthy and having movement, but like, what is your driving factor? Is it trying to age gracefully? Is it for your family? Like, what is your driving factor to keep going?
And I would say two. Well, one, I didn't really think. Well, obviously, we think about aging gracefully, but that is a great one for sure. I might say I have three now, but I would say really my biggest two are, to model healthy behaviors for my daughter. I definitely didn't grow up with the maybe best body image. It's always been something that I have struggled with my entire life, and so I really want them to see from the get-go, not only like healthy body image, but just like that working out is a part of everyday life. And it should be something that is fun and that we enjoy, not just like, oh, I saw my mom doing it, so I know I have to do it. But like, this is what my mom loved to do, and they do it with me, and they like to be a part of it. And then I would say working out for me is just as much about my mental health as it is about my physical health. So it is literally my biggest stress reliever. I'll joke sometimes that if I'm agitated, my husband will be like, have you not worked out yet today? Like, do you need to take a moment? Especially if we're like on vacation, so I'm out of my normal routine or something. So it is, something that I also do as a form of self-care and my me time. So that kind of makes it, it makes it easier to not think about it as just something that we have to do to, stay healthy or stay skinny or stay strong or stay
Yeah.
whatever. Which all of those are definitely great goals as well. But if I had to pick my top two motivators, that would be definitely my kids and mental health.
Nice. Oh, I love that. It's so true. And I do think that the younger girls they're definitely, I think, changing and shifting mindset around health. I've never seen so many younger girls before that are working with us, and they're, getting off birth control, and they're just wanting to, they have this desire to do things naturally, which I
Yes.
feel like that was not my
Right. No,
generation. We
me
were
neither.
very much my mom cooked, but it was still exciting to go to fast food. And
Right.
now it's just ew, it's just
Right.
let's go to true food, or okay, maybe we're getting a little bougier, and I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm seeing a shift in the younger generation that they are prioritizing it, which is so exciting, because I feel like maybe they did back then, but then we were introduced to the processed food just generation. And then we started seeing oh, we can make this easier on us. And so then it was just an ease, or the desire for easy for parents. And then that
Right.
obviously we were born, and then we were just born into it. So it's all we knew. And so now I'm seeing it revert, and it's so cool to see the younger kids care about this stuff. So I love it.
Yes. Me too. It is exciting to see, that it's
Yeah.
moving in the right direction for sure.
Yeah. And what do you do when stuff comes up and you have to pivot, and maybe you can't do your routines like you usually do, like travel? What are non-negotiables, and what are things that you are more lax with? And if that is something mentally that's hard to overcome, because some people are do it all or do none. I'm not like that. So I can't fully understand how people are able to work that way, because I'm just going with the flow. But do you find yourself in those shoes?
I mean, again, I'm gonna always be honest. I am not, I can't go with the flow, and I can handle change, but I try to, I like to overplan as well. So I do try to
Mm,
remind myself that, in motherhood, in entrepreneurship, like owning 3 different businesses with my husband's job and moving constantly, and his schedule requires my presence at things a lot. So everything has its season. And I know, let me
love
say,
that.
I tell myself that all the time. I'm
Love
still
that.
working on the knowing it part, but that sometimes, it is going to have to be a 30-minute workout versus a 60-minute workout. So that way I can take the girls to the pool in the summer. It's going to look a little bit different. And I may, need to say no to a work project, which is hard for me
Yeah.
during certain times. So I do try to really think through that the word, balancing or finding balance, it's a hard thing to maintain, right? So you can't,
Yeah.
striving to find balance in our lives between work and motherhood and fitness is, we may do it really great one day, but then the next day it might not be. And so we really have to be, okay with that. That sometimes it's going to look different. Sometimes, like
Yeah.
tomorrow, or no, today, I'm going to have a babysitter come in the afternoon so I can have a few uninterrupted work hours, even though it's the summer, and that's okay. So I try to remind myself of that. But I will say my workouts, I think because they are such a mental stress reliever for me, are pretty non-negotiable. Like I'll just get up even way earlier
Yeah.
to get them in, or else I'm going to feel antsy all day. So that probably is my biggest non-negotiable.
Nice.
And then when it comes to healthy eating, I say I try to, do the 80-20 kind of rule when it comes to that. Now, when we go to vacation, I definitely, we prefer to stay at a VRBO over a hotel. So I have a little bit
Yeah,
more control over what we eat.
for
Um,
sure.
Also, waiting at a restaurant is not really my jam. I'm like, okay, there's so many other things I could be doing while we're sitting here for an hour. So
Yes.
I'm like, let's pick 2 days to make a reservation, and then the rest of the days I'll cook. So I do try to, keep control
Nice.
over those when we can, but some days you just
Yeah.
want to go out and have ice cream, and that's okay
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing. Do you have any books or podcasts that you listen to for self-development? It can be spiritually, it can be business, entrepreneur. What are some of your favorite books and podcasts?
Sure. Well, obviously I love this one. I was listening
Yeah.
to, oh my goodness, I'm going to blank on, she was living in the RV, and
Yes,
it's the bus
Leah.
therapist and personal trainer. That was
Love
so
her.
motivating, because I am also kind of a homebody. I remember you saying that on the
Yes.
episode. So anyways, it is just so interesting to hear other entrepreneurs, life and how they balance things. So I love that. Other ones that I listen to regularly, I love the Gold Digger podcast and the Fitness Business podcast, which is like fitness entrepreneur or fitness business specific, but it's a great one. Marie Forleo is another great podcast. Healthy in Real Life by the Fitnessista is a great one. A book that I love and all fitness lovers should read. It's called The Joy of Movement by Kelly McGonigal. And it really just talks about like so much about exercise for your mental health and kind of the evolution of exercise and how group fitness and the community that we have when we work out with other people, how that affects our, ability to stick with our workouts. It's just so interesting. So it's a great read.
Amazing. And what about spirituality? Any books and stuff that stand out to you?
Well, I don't have the written down. I just did an awesome devotional with a girlfriend. Oh my goodness. And I get the email all the time. Like the email from her all the time. But I am reading the daily devotion I read right now is by Donna Maltese. So that is a fantastic one. And the Enneagram one is the one that I just finished there. So those are probably my top two off the top of my head.
Amazing.
I'm not in my room with my stack of books next to me.
Right. I know. I love it. Awesome. Well, I'm so excited that you were able to join us today and share all the things. So share with us, where can we find you? How can we connect with you? I know I'll put everything in the show notes, but.
Yes, perfect. Well, I am Lauren George Fitness on Instagram, and my website is laurengfitness.com. And then my business website, so for my entrepreneurial workshops and business workshops, is fitbizclub.com.
Love it.
So fitbizclub.com.
Love it. And then Lauren also gave us a 7-day free bar challenge. So I'll be putting that in the show notes as well that you guys can grab. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a joy.